Martin, Stephen, is he will be out there as long as it takes.
Yeah, good evening, Dave. Good evening, everybody. You're absolutely right. He does exactly what he says on the tin. Martin O'Donnell, he's happy to stay out there for as long as it takes, and he's shown that already a couple of times this week. His game the other night got pulled off, and, well, I must admit I was fast asleep by the time his match finished this morning in the early hours, but looking at the scoring, he played very well.
Yeah, he's a tough customer, but as you say, can put the breaks together. He was a quarter-finalist, actually, 5 years ago now, 2018 in York. Had to get his place back on the tour, and I'm sure he's determined to make the most of every tournament opportunity. And this is a big event, of course, big prestige, big points, big money, and one of the historic events on our calendar. So it would be a real feather in his cap if he could win this match, put himself through to Judgment Day. Well, imagine trying to find that gap. Somehow he's gone through the middle of them.
Yeah, he was unfortunate not to make contact there, but coming twice across, trying to rest on that side of the pack. If he doesn't get this one absolutely right, he may leave that red to the right corner. Just needs to be mindful of that.
It's an intriguing match, this. It's a bit of a clash of personalities, really, a bit of a clash of styles, but both terrific players. Vafai just slipped out of the top 16. He was in there rather briefly, but just down at 18 now. He's beaten Mark Selby in the last 2 UK Championships, so, you know, if he gets to York, he traditionally plays well there. We have, of course, 8 tables tonight. Tables 1 to 4 live on Discovery Plus. So table 2, Stuart Bingham, David Lilly. Table 3, Zhou Yulong, Hamad Mir. Table 4, Jimmy Robertson, Craig Steadman. And we'll also keep you up to date with Sam Craigie against Scott Donaldson, Mark Davis against Pang Xiongzhu, Graham Dont against Elliot Slesser, and Jack Jones against Ian Burns.
Yeah, still plenty of action at the Morningside Arena here in Leicester. These third round matches coming to a conclusion this evening. Well, hopefully this evening, not the early hours, but then the Judgment Day starts tomorrow and Thursday, sorry. All the players fighting it out for those coveted spots at York.
Yeah, we saw Stephen Maguire win on this table earlier, and he will play Joe O'Connor, who beat Oliver Lyons 6-5 in the last result of the session. The winner of this match plays either Sam Craigie or Scott Donaldson. And that will be on Thursday. Remember, there's 2 Judgment Days, and we'll have all the action with Rob Walker in the studio from tomorrow at 1 o'clock local time. do as ever, get in contact if you have any comments about the snooker and any thoughts about who might qualify. We've got various names through already, including Ken Doherty, of course, who could come through the qualifying and maybe cause a surprise in York as O'Donnell goes for the double. Oh, terrific shot. There was value in it. It'd be on the black. That's terrific. So he's in and away. I'll just complete what I was saying, though. If you want to get in contact, you can contact myself on Twitter at Dave Hendon. Stephen is at Stephen Hallworth with a V. And you can contact World Snooker Tour at WeAreWST and let us know where in the world you're watching as well. We had a lot of different nationalities represented this afternoon. I'm sure it'll be the same this evening.
Yeah, and just briefly on that, what a story it would be for Ken Doherty to get through to the Barbican at York, similar to Jimmy White last season in this very competition. Fan favourite, what an occasion that would be. But this man at the table is hoping for an occasion of his own. That was a superb double he's played to that right middle pocket. As you say, Dave, a lot of value in that shot. He was leaving nothing had he missed it. It was just a half a chance, and what a chance it could be.
16.
Yeah, I was talking actually, I won't say who it was, but it was one of the referees this morning, and he was saying that he thinks Martin gets a bit of a bad rap because, okay, some of his matches, they can be long, but he said he does like to attack. He's just a really good safety player as well, and sometimes you can get a long frame. I mean, he played an 85-minute frame yesterday, but I was told that it was of the highest quality tactical-wise. And, of course, then if there's been protracted safety, balls have gone awkward, and it's harder then to make breaks when you get in. But he's in here and looking to put his mark on this match straight away.
24.
Yeah, I think naturally if you get involved in a lengthy safety battle, the balls tend to run safe anyway. It's sometimes not the player that's dictating the pace of the game, it's actually the balls themselves. You can only play them,
25.
play what's in front of you. But yeah, I've played Martin a number of times, and you're right, he is quite attacking, and he does actually get on with it when he's in the balls. We saw glimpses of that from his scoring in the last 3 frames of his match yesterday. He's hoping for more of the same tonight.
We certainly match hardened with those 2 victories he's already enjoyed here. David Lilly there keeping watch from the next table.
33.
Oh, but very unexpected miss that, just as things were looking good for O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's an unforgivable miss on the black. Hand on the table, there's no reason for him to be missing that other than the fact he's taken his eye off the pot. What a reprieve for Hussein in this opening frame that could be.
Yeah, just came out of nowhere, and
8.
it will, well, frustrate him for sure, but more so, of course, if he's punished.
9.
Same for Foy, he has found someone to tie his bow tie. He said he brought the wrong one, he didn't know how to tie it, but somebody in the venue has helped him out.
cue ball has just travelled on a fraction further than he would have liked. He's going to have to really get into this white now. Try and play the cannon to the red just below the pink. That's perfect.
Meanwhile, as we see the replay again here, nice cannon. It's a good evening to, well, good afternoon actually, where he is, to Brian Butler, who's watching from Top Shots Billiards in Edmonton, Canada. Nice to have you with us, Brian.
Wouldn't it be great to have a snooker event over there one day? I know that the World Billiards have a tournament over there. Never been to Canada, never played snooker in America either, so to
32.
go over there one day, that would be fantastic.
Now, the black puts him 12 in front, so 3 reds, 3 blacks, he'd be 36 in front with 35 on, which means he wouldn't need the safe red on the side cushion.
40. $41. $48. $49.
So a big shot this. He has got an angle on the red to just stun over for the black. Yeah, he's played it well. Just wants an angle, which he's got. He can just drop in behind that red now. Of course, the 36 points advantage after this black doesn't really mean too much, other than the fact that, of course, Martin needs snookers. He'll definitely carry on, unless Hussein pots this final red. So, failed attempt to promote the red from the side cushion via the cannon. Just looking at the scores now, weighing up his options.
Well, a solid 64,
64.
punishing the unexpected missed black off the spot from O'Donnell, who now is in a snooker as he comes to the table, needing one himself. Yeah, caught the brown, so hopes receding in this frame. Brian in Canada has replied, actually, he says, we're exploring the idea of an event in Canada. I think it would be great, tons of local support. Well, good luck with that. Of course, you know, you go back 30 years, there were a lot of top players who were from Canada, and there was a ranking event in Canada back in 1988. Jimmy White won it. So it'd be great to get back there with the professional game. Kelly Barker says, I was thinking of going to the cinema tonight to watch the Ronnie O'Sullivan film, but Martin O'Donnell on the main table was too good to miss. That's the spirit, isn't it? That's a proper snooker fan. Yeah, good luck. Of course, Ronnie's got his film premiere in London tonight, The Edge of Everything, which will be on wider release later this week. I'm sure a lot of snooker fans are looking forward to seeing it.
There is still a glimmer of hope in this frame for Martin, albeit it is just a glimmer. A couple of big targets in behind colours. It's important that he keeps this red on the table though, trying to gain a free ball off one of his snookers should he get one. Would effectively act as two snookers.
I mean, he could still win the frame, but what he could also do, of course, is just make Vafai earn it by putting him through a bit of a tactical exchange. We will have our final competition, by the way, this evening for tickets to the UK Championship. So, in the next frame, well, actually, I'll have to think of a question first, and then I'll ask it. Well, Vafai, as I said earlier, has beaten Mark Selby in the last two UK Championships, so he's used to tough battles and tough players, and he's up to that task. He's got O'Donnell in a snooker here, so hard to control exactly where they finish, assuming he hits the red. Double kiss could be hampered. Yeah, looks certain to leave an easy pot there. It's just a bit awkward now. Got the spider out. O'Donnell was a little fortunate where the white finished.
Yeah, and the longer he keeps this red on the table, the more you fancy him to eventually land a pretty good snooker. He's very, very good tactically, as we've already mentioned. Martin O'Donnell knows his way around the snooker table. You feel though, if he's going to get one, it's got to be a good one. Got to try and get the red ball near another colour, and the cue ball preferably tight in behind another to try and increase his chances of Hossein missing it and leaving a free ball.
He would love to pot this and put the frame to bed. Not to be. It continues.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Hussein will not be playing this at too much pace. Should he miss it, there's no chance of leaving the free ball.
Foul.
He has
What's
missed
your
it, so now it's just one snooker for Martin. As I say, there was always that glimmer of hope. Hussein will be frustrated, he's missed that red to middle a couple of shots ago.
Actually had a tweet from Dan in Tehran in Iran. He says it's 11 o'clock here. I'm watching. He says Hussein has lost his last two matches from 3-1 up against Perry. He lost 4-3, and in China against Ross Muir from 5-2 up, lost 6-5. He sometimes plays a bit too loose, can take on very low percentage shots that ultimately cost him. So that's an observation from Dan. Right now, you won't be taking anything on from here. He's hit another one, and Martin O'Donnell. He's doing what he does, he's turning the screw.
Yeah, and again, that's a nasty one. Got to be very careful again here, as Hussein. Yeah, that's a very nice hit. Good shot.
Well, not this time. Now then, can he knock this in? Not easy, the cue balls kept running, but it's all become a little bit anxious, this frame. It looks certain to be Vifai's at one point. The only problem hitting it that hard, that red, I mean, on another day could have knocked that black in the middle or something crazy. Those things happen, but anyway. We've had a few frames finished, by the way, already. David Lilly's 1-0 up on Stuart Bingham. Mark Davis 1-0 up on Pang Zhongzhu. Elliot Slesser 1-0 up on Graham Dotz.
Oh, that's
Frame
a
conceded.
poor shot.
First
He's
frame.
caught the knuckle
Full
of the
serve.
middle pocket with the red, and there's the concession.
Yeah, after all that effort, it ended rather tamely, didn't it, that frame? I had a tweet here from Ian Martin who says the criteria for playing in the UK Championship qualifiers appears to change every year. Do you feel they should choose a way of qualifying for the second largest snooker event and stick to it, or do you like how it's decided and seemingly changes yearly? Well, in fairness, Ian, this format is the same as last year. It's the same format as the World Championship, so there's actually 16 extra players in the tournament. So you have 128 in the qualifying, and they produced 16 players to go forward to York to play the top 16. So this format was brought in last year. Personally, I think it was. I think it's a better format for the final stages to have 32 than the 1 to 8 and sort of cramming all the matches in, and the second arena that you never heard any good word about. It's a bit more prestige, I think, and also following the qualifying story, there's some real cachet tomorrow and Thursday in actually qualifying through Judgement Day. The chance to get into the main draw. So personally, I quite like the change that they made last year, and I suspect they'll be sticking with it. You can contact us at WeAreWST, at Dave Hendon, at Stephen Hallworth, and let us know where you're watching and who you're excited about seeing in Judgement Day. The winner of this match plays Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie. Donaldson has won the opening frame there.
Second frame. Also have a fight break.
Well, let's unleash our final quiz question. So this is for tickets for the 7 p.m. session on Thursday of next week. So you have to be available Thursday the 30th. 2 tickets to the 7 p.m. session at the Barbican in York at the UK Championship. And as Ronnie's got his film premiere tonight, let's go class of 92. So the 3 celebrated members, Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins and Mark Williams, how many UK Championships have they won combined? So how many UK Championships combined have been won by Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins and Mark Williams? Send your answers to the World Snooker Tour Twitter account, which is at WeAreWST, at WeAreWST, and after the interval we will reveal the winner and the answer.
Saying just coming round to have a little look at the right hand side of the pack. He may be going close to making a plant here. Priority, of course, is getting the cue ball back into deep balk. Pushed a couple of reds into open play. And he may have left a little thin snip for Martin O'Donnell. If he can just squeeze past the blue, I think he can. Well, he caught it too thin, but he's had second prize, holds his hand up. Nearly full ball kiss behind the green. I'm not sure that Hussein can creep past the green to get past and clip thin off the red. May just have to try and rest up to it, or the pack. regained his tour card, Martin O'Donnell, last season via the World Snooker Q Tour. Won that in quite dramatic fashion, actually. Ross Muir was at the top of that list pretty much the whole series and came down to the last event. Martin, he actually beat me in the semi-final of that event, played Ross in the title match, and it turned out not just to be the deciding game for that particular weekend and take the trophy home. It was 1 versus 2 in the rankings. It was all on that game, and that earned him a automatic return to the professional circuit for a minimum of 2 years. Well, that was a very nicely controlled positional shot from Hussein. Not the greatest pack of all time to go into from the black. Going to have to play this at some pace if he's going to get the reds moving. Yeah, it just didn't look ideal. He would have done well to have landed nicely on one from there.
Understand him going on the attack because I mean he won the first frame and he made a good 64, but there was another, at least 10 minutes after that where he was sort of dragged into the tactical side. O'Donnell quite rightly playing on for snookers, but that's not Vafai's game really. He likes to get on the front foot. Martin O'Donnell, he knows, can make things difficult for him. He's only actually played once before. It was in a Championship League match and it was a 2-2 draw, so there's not much to read into that really. But he'll be aware of how O'Donnell plays. Hamad Mir, who had that great win over Judd Trump at the British Open, and it looks even better now because, of course, after that Trump won 3 ranking events in a row, he leads Zhou Yilong 1-0. Well, the red's on, but he's going to need accurate cueing here. Well, he's not on the pink to the middle.
Yeah, he's going to have to play another good shot on the blue here. Just needs to cue this one well, get the cue ball in and out of baulk into a big area. A couple of reds to play for. Just try and put the disappointment of not landing on the pink out your mind for the time being. Just strike this one well. And he has done. That was a lovely clean hit. Played that really well. Still a little bit of work to do in this visit though.
14.
The black spot is a little bit congested for the time being. It's important now for Hussein to just take a second, try and work out a route. Try and work out his plan of attack.
Yeah, he's a very distinct character, isn't he? Got a big personality. Big ding in the first round at the Crucible. But that's not, of course, what people were talking about. It was his comments afterwards, of course, about Ronnie, that, you know, it's all in the past now, but it created an extraordinary story at the time when they met each other in the second round. But he didn't seem to mind being sort of involved in all of that. He just spoke his mind.
Yeah, he's a bit of a character, actually, as I say, and I don't think he minds being sort of the centre of the media attention. He sort of thrives off that. And every credit, you know, if you can back it up, which you can, then you crack on. He's a very good player on his day, we've seen that. He's got a great record against a few of the top players, which is a very good feat to have.
Just while he looks at this, good evening to Christoph. Says, I'm watching the UK qualifiers from Ulm in Germany. Obviously hoping to see Lucas Kleckers come through on Judgment Day, but seeing Crafty Ken come through once more would be quite something as well. Same would be nice too, such a unique character. Yeah, well done to Lucas, who beat Ryan Day 6-2. Terrific win that, and has the chance to represent Germany in the last 32 of the UK Championship for the first time.
Yes, I briefly caught the end of that game, actually, and the start, to be fair, and Lucas looked in great form. If anything, one thing I did pick up on is his tempo was very good. He was very brisk around the table, not messing around, just getting down and playing the shots. Played superbly well. He really did just freeze Ryan out of that game.
And Lee Seymour's asking about how the draw works. Has it been set already, or is it being drawn out of a hat? It is being drawn out of a hat, Lee, on Thursday. So the top six, there's two hats actually. Top 16 are in one, the qualifiers in another. So for example, Judd Trump could play the same for five if he qualified, and so on and so on. So that'll be between sessions on Thursday. After the first session, we'll have the draw live. And Stephen, I think you've been roped into that. Maybe you haven't been told yet, but I think you're going to be involved in that. So no pressure.
Do I get to chuck my name in the hat as well, just in the off chance that someone drops?
Don't think it quite works like that, no.
27.
Well, obviously the black now is set to go up on the brown spot, so it's just out the way a little bit. Still got blue and pink. Dave Jackson saying that he likes hearing where all the people from around the world are watching, but I'm actually in bed 5 miles from the venue, feeling quite lazy. Well, that's fine, Dave, as long as you're watching. Of course, you can pop down if you're in the area. Tickets are £10 for Judgment Day, so you get to experience the drama in the flesh, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have got the day off tomorrow or Thursday, get yourself down here. Fantastic value for £10. You can come and see all the live action, some incredible standard on display. Roam around and watch all the matches as it happens live. Open plan seating.
Well, he's just having to sort of work the cue ball a bit here with that black now on the brown spot. It's not helped.
36.
Well, he's trying to open reds up there. Positive shot, but it's not worked out. So, let's end the break.
43. So I'm at 543.
It's a big target, this, isn't it? And he's found it. And O'Donnell's got to be careful because these reds are not exactly bunched together. There's danger here.
Yeah, even trying to rest on the red to the side of the table seems the obvious place, but there is a red at the bottom of the pack that he's just coming to look at that will pass. So that would have to be incredibly accurate. You may have to just try and rest onto the two reds closest together, just to the left of the pink. It's all about pace, this shot. He doesn't want to push it on. And that's okay. Good shot.
It's already 1-1 Pang Zhenzu and Mark Davis. Ian Burns had that great win, didn't he? 6-0 over Liam Highfield yesterday. He's already 1-0 up on Jack Jones, the Crucible quarter-finalist last season. Craig Steadman has won the opener against Jimmy Robertson. Vafai just looking to protect this lead. This is a useful one, 51. Looking realistically, I guess, for one more chance to make it 2-0. Well, he didn't get the cover, so this ready's on, and this could be the chance Vafai looking for.
Nice pot from Hussein. Cued that one well. Not the worst flick on the blue either. He can still pot this to the middle, just has to navigate his cue ball nicely, try and get down the table. The right side of the pink would be ideal. So he's looking potentially at the yellow. The blue is a little trickier to get in and out of balk. He needs to avoid the in-off. Well, he's got the knuckle of the middle pocket, and that's probably just as bad because
6.
he's in no man's land. He just really wanted to play the blue there. He did have a brief look at the yellow, and it looked like there was a lot more room for error taking the yellow, albeit it was a little bit more of a difficult pot with the rest. May have been wise to play that.
5, 6.
Well, it's a useful lead, but all the reds are kind of on, so were O'Donnell to get a chance, the clearance may be on here, so it could be it's a slightly misleading sort of lead he's got. There's nothing really on cushions or anything that could save him. Okay, the last red is close to the top cushion, but it's possible.
Well, he got very close to that. He had a good look at that. It must have been very tight. Holds his hand up because the reds run safe. I don't think I'd have been holding my hand up for that. 57 points lead. He wants to try and keep as many safe reds as possible. It's one of those scenarios again where Martin's going to have to try and make something happen sooner rather than later. These reds are going to continue to finish up awkward. Just needs to be careful of the double kiss here. He's avoided that. But has he left a pot to the left corner? I think he has. So in goes the red. Pretty decent pot, in fairness. He's got a shot at the green as well. Big shot.
Yeah, he needs green and red to get to the snooker's required stage. Interesting. Doesn't fancy the pot. It's thin. The green. He's decided to lay the snook instead.
You can't blame him for that shot selection, but from what we've seen so far, it seems like he's going to attack the game, and that was maybe his chance to attack and see out this frame rather than get dragged into a lengthy safety exchange again.
Yeah, and also he's now freed the black into a potable position, which is going to favour O'Donnell, 58 behind. If O'Donnell at some point, I mean he's snookered now, he's got to get out of this first, but if he could at some point pot a red, get on the black, get it back on its spot, then that's a serious chance then to take the frame out.
He's judged that one well. A little tap on the table from Hussein, and rightly so, because he had to get that one just right. Didn't want to drift past the red and leave a tempter for Hussein. So he's not really gained anything from rolling up behind the brown, other than possibly a disadvantage, as Dave has just said. He's freed the black up somewhat.
Well, it's going to be 3-0 to David Lilly over Stuart Bingham. So great start for the former World Seniors champion. He's miles in front in frame 3. So Bingham, of course, playing in glasses these days. Former World and Masters champion, and of course a stalwart of the top 16, having to qualify this year. In big trouble there.
This is a little bit wide, and that's a poor shot from Martin. He's left the red for Hussein, and surely he's going to get this one, and the pink to follow. Only needs the red. Oh, it just crept in. It looked like he was just trying to steer that in at the end.
So as you say, this should make absolutely sure this pink. 3 snookers required if it goes in, and it again just about has. He's on this red as well. I think it's one of those matches where you feel he's got to make absolutely sure. At the moment, O'Donnell would play on, not if the red goes in though. So it's been hard work, but Rafai has certainly been the better of the two so far, and he's going to be 2-0 in front. He'll have prepared himself, as you do, for whichever opponent you have, and so far he's stood up to it well. Martin O'Donnell hasn't really recovered from missing that black off the spot in the first frame, and he finds himself 2-0 down here in Leicester. Just a reminder, this is the third of 4 qualifying rounds, the last night of the third round. Tomorrow we start our Judgement Day coverage. We'll be on air at 1 o'clock local time, live on Discovery Plus and World Snooker Tour's YouTube and Facebook pages, also Matchroom Live. Follow the twists and turns. We've got 4 tables tomorrow afternoon, 4 at night, 7 o'clock at night, and then back again Thursday, and we'll have our 16 qualifiers set for York, and of course the televised stage starts on Saturday. There are some tickets still available. There's been a lot of sold out sessions, but you can still buy some tickets starting at £22. Go to wst.tv/tickets, where you can hopefully snap a few up, and of course you can also register for next year. If you want to be first in the queue for next year, you just need to sign up to the priority window. Tickets available from the 2nd of December. You must register though by the 1st to be in that priority window with the first chance to buy tickets. Again, if you go to wst.tv, there'll be a form to fill in, and all the information will be there.
Yeah, and if you are heading over to the Barbican next week, fantastic event, as we all know. Great city is York. Keep an eye out for anyone dressed in purple at the Barbican. World Snooker Tour's charity partner, the Jessie May Children Hospice at Home. They do some incredible work with children with life-limiting conditions, so if you can support them in any way, shape or form, big or small, the donations are greatly appreciated. A couple of players, Kyron Wilson and Jamie Jones, both tour members as we know, are ambassadors for the Jessie May Trust, so it's a very close charity to World Snooker Tour.
Yes, of course, Rob Walker in the summer did his John O'Groats to Land's End charity run and cycle ride, and Jessie May were one of the recipients of a lot of money there that Rob undertook over 3 weeks. Incredible effort. And he will be, of course, hosting our coverage in the studio here on Judgement Day tomorrow. Craig Steadman going well, meanwhile, 2-0 up on Jimmy Robertson, and Scott Donaldson also 2-0 up on Sam Craigie. Graham Dott's levelled up with Elliot Slessor, 1 apiece. 1 each, Pang Jung-Zhu, Mark Davis. Ian Burns still 1 up on Jack Jones, Hamad Mir. 1-0 up on Zhou Yulong. But as I say, David Lilley, at the moment, 3-0 in front against Stuart Bingham. Some of these players, of course, Bingham, an obvious example, sort of been pulled back into qualifying after several years where he would be, of course, one of the seeded players in these tournaments. Vafai himself has been in the top 16, just slipped out. It's very difficult, A, to get in the 16 and B, to stay in it right now because there's so many players good enough to be there. Of course, Ding tomorrow afternoon we'll see trying to qualify. He slipped out as well. Nico DeVos is our referee. He's set the balls up, and O'Donnell hoping to make some sort of impact here in the 3rd frame. Good news for the officials. There's no matches coming back tonight. There's been no holdovers. Everyone's managed to get finished in time. I was talking to one of the referees this morning and they were saying that what you don't want, if there's matches coming back, what you don't want at night is to referee a quick match, because of course it goes on that table, you have to do it. It's not the original referee, it's you. So all these considerations go on at these tournaments.
Well, it's a very nice pot from Martin O'Donnell. Confidently played. Nice kiss on the brown as well. He's got an angle on the yellow here. It's going to be 1 cushion into the side of the pack. Any sort of solid contact to the side of those reds at some pace surely will get the move in. Doesn't want to hit this too hard though. It can just straighten up. Oh, he's gone the opposite. He's not hit it hard enough. And it's gone wider. Just got into the cue ball a fraction there.
3.
I think a little bit more pace, it would have just squared up the line.
Martin O'Donnell. 3.
what a pot that is from Hussein Vafai. Beautifully played. Okay, he's not got the best angle on the blue. The pink being off its spot is not ideal, really. Plenty of distance between the pink and the pack, so he can't get into them as nicely as he would like. That's a great effort. Oh, as he landed, that is a great effort. Great shot.
Six.
Yeah, he generated a lot of pace there, didn't he? And he's got his reward, it would seem. We saw him this season in the semi-finals of the British Open. Had a great run in that event in Cheltenham.
7.
Mark Williams beat him though to deny him a place in the final. Of course, Vafai, former shootout champion. And like a lot of the sort of non-British players, there's quite a few sort of playing a bit of a lone furrow. Lucas Kleckers for Germany, Alex Ersenbacher for Switzerland. But what they're doing is they're hopefully inspiring people back home in their respective countries to look at snooker, to follow snooker, hopefully take snooker up and build up the interest in that part of the world. And there's a lot of interest in Iran for sure. A lot of people play there.
Yeah, and it's great to see him playing to this level. You think back a few years ago when he had real trouble with visas
21.
and even just competing in the events seemed a tall order at one stage for him. You know, he's had a lot of adversity to overcome, and all the while he's kept his discipline and kept his dream alive. He really is a top player now.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been difficult, and also just moving to, you know, another part of the world and being away from family, not easy. It's a familiar story in snooker because so much of the circuit, particularly the qualifying, is based here. But he is getting the rewards, and he's a dangerous player, I think. I'm always interested to watch him play. I think he's quite an exciting player. And I think capable of some really good things in the years ahead.
Yeah, he's a very strong character, Hussein. You can just tell he's not going to be intimidated by the top players. We've seen that in recent years with some of the antics, if you like. You know, the playing up to the media, etc. It's been great for the game, but it's serious business out there on the snooker table, and he wants it, that's for sure. As you've already mentioned, great record against Selby. How many players can say they've got that? He knows how to compete.
34.
Yeah, nothing's come easy, has it? He's had to work so hard that now he's got into this position. He's going to continue that work, I'm sure.
So the red just beneath the black is a little bit of a problem ball here now, because he's finished a little bit high, so he can't just drop through. He may have to try and stun across the face of the black around two cushions for the black into the same pocket. Running out of loose reds though, so he's going to have to make something happen soon. No, he didn't get past the black, so he's knocked it safe, and that's not ideal. He's on nothing now, really. He's going to have to play a telling safety shot.
Samba 5, 35.
Well, he sort of had a go at the pink, didn't he? But there wasn't much value in it, really. No, Donald can free the black by moving this red away, so it's quite a positive shot, really. Ahmedmir 2-0 now over Zhou Yulong, and Pang Zhengzhu has moved 2-1 up on Mark Davis. Remember, you can watch tables 1 to 4 live on Discovery Plus. So that's Bingham, Zhou Yulong, Jimmy Robertson. And this match, of course.
Pretty good shot from Martin, only leaving this one red available for Hussein to go at. Tough to play safe off as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has a little go at this down the rail. Plenty of screw. Try and get the cue ball back to Bork. Well, he tried to play it a little bit more positively. At that pace, getting close to it. Was always going to get the jaws. They'd have been unlucky to have left it.
Well, Keeble just hung on somehow.
Yeah, and this is not easy at all, so he's going to be just dropping onto the back of the pack here. Can't risk playing anything direct. Now Martin may be forced into playing a bit more of an attacking safety shot here. He has got the option to do that. Get the cue ball back to Bork and open the reds. There is risk involved with that though. You're never quite sure where the reds are going to finish, but he's trailing in the match and in this frame. Maybe worth Just pushing the boat out a fraction here. He may gain an advantage off it.
Well, he sort of half looked like he was getting down to play it. Now he's giving it a real stare, isn't he? He says he's not convinced. Coming round from the pocket view.
Yeah, and he does right, because it can be quite deceiving stood behind the cue ball there, because the cue ball is closer to you. The image looks a little bit bigger. Coming behind the shot, you can see a much clearer line, and that's why he's now getting straight down to play this. I think this goes. Yeah, good pot. Always worth coming round when it is tight. As I say, the image can be a little bit deceiving, but played it well.
Yeah, he seemed to know straight away when he came round to look at it from the pocket. By the way, in terms of who the winner of this match will play, Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie, well, Donaldson's 3-0 up. So the Perth man halfway to victory there. Sam Craigie did well there last year, didn't he, in York? Yeah, sprung a couple of upsets along the way, but struggling this year. Now Vafai looking to press on, because really since Martin O'Donnell missed that black when he was in frame one, he's not made much impact in terms of scoring. He's made things difficult tactically, but in terms of scoring, he's done very little. So Vafai must be sensing an opportunity to maybe just pull away here. He's kept his discipline as well, which is very important, of course, so that you're ready when the chances come.
And he's controlled that one really well through the pack of reds, out for the black again. Played that one lovely. It's hard to say that opening frame that missed black was a turning point, because it was so early on, but Martin O'Donnell was nicely in to start with and missed a black that you would never ever miss. Doing nothing with the cue ball as well. It was very surprising, and since then it's just been one-way traffic. This man at the table, Hossein Vafai, just slowly starting to go through the gears. If he can take this frame and the next one before the interval, what a strong position he's in.
So this red and snooker's required. Looking like 3-0 to the Iranian.
26.
Hossein Vafai, another qualifier, and there's a few already. Ding is one, obviously Stephen Maguire, who you really as a seed wouldn't want to draw. Maguire sort of poured cold water on that. He said, oh no, they won't mind playing me, but I don't see that myself. Ended Judd Trump's great run in China. He's been in 2 quarterfinals this season already, and of course he's a former champion.
32.
Could he play Selby for a 3rd year in a row in York?
39.
saying as well that the seeds in this round are under a lot of pressure, sorry, not only to win the match, but they're coming in as the seed. They've got to win their games to get the points on their ranking. They do get the prize money, but they won't get the ranking points if they don't win the match. So they're saying in a very strong position, not like over on the other table. Stuart Bingham 3-0 down to David Lilly, back up against it straight away.
Yeah, and it's about to go 4-0. In fact, it's just gone 4-0, so that's a bit of an upset brewing there. Because Lilly's vastly experienced. It took a long time before he turned pro because he had such a good job and you know, was working for a living, but wanted to follow his dream. Anyway, he's in control there.
58.
And Pang Zhengzhu has just made a great 71 clearance from 63-0 down against Mark Davis to lead 3-1 there. So a lot of dramatic snooker being played tonight. And Hossein Vafai here on table 1
62.
has really imposed himself on this match. Break ends at 67. It was a good one.
67.
It took a while, didn't he, deciding whether he could pot the initial red, but he could, he did. And that 67 break puts him halfway towards a place in Judgement Day, the final round of qualifying at this UK Championship. 3-0 it is to Vafai with one to come before the interval. It's a very busy time for snooker, and you can of course follow all the movements in this event and everything else that's happening on the various social media channels. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, match clips, interviews, behind the scenes content, much more. And also if you go to the WST website, that's wst.tv, wst.tv, you can enter the MrQ Q Challenge with a chance to win a new cue made by the master himself, John Paris. It's quite simple, you've got to fill a form in. So go to the website and be in with a chance for that. And we'll Sam, who's in charge of all the social media, will be in the interval to tell us about Judgement Day, what's coming up tomorrow, and what you can expect from our coverage. Nico de Vos just setting them up. Referees that have their routines. They're always here before any match starts. That table is set up half an hour before. And the amount of checking that goes on, that the balls are on the right spots, you wouldn't believe. But of course, then when the match starts, it's just set them up, get on with it. So, not afforded the luxury of spending too much time doing it. (3-0), and Vafai knows if he can press on and win this frame, then he's a very heavy favourite. He's a confident character, I think, good front runner in general. I know our correspondent from Tehran did mention a couple of matches he'd lost from in front, but that is the case with any player, really. I don't think it's a pattern with him.
Yeah, and I wonder if that will play any part in his psychology going into this interval. Should he go 4-0 up? Of course, he's got some disappointing memories, as already mentioned, a couple of games that have gotten away from him from strong leading positions. Doesn't want the same to happen here, especially against someone like Martin O'Donnell. He really does know how to grind out a result, and as we've already said, he'll stay here all night if it means he's going to get it. Was up very quick off that one, thought he'd caught it too thin, which he did. He didn't play to get in behind the brown, but my God, he'll take it. What a result he's had there, because he's opened the reds as well. That's a pretty good shot from Martin. Cut off the right side of the table. Same for Fire, he's going to have to play a pretty good safety, possibly a dump shot. But the way he may be feeling, he might have a go at this red. No, just playing the dump. He came round to have a look what he may leave, and he is going to be leaving a red, but it may be no value to Martin. Although this red to middle, Hussein wanted to see that go much further past the blue spot than it has done. This is cuttable, very thin, but it's a chance.
There was a chance, but he's sort of under a bit of pressure to start taking them, isn't he? Nothing really has gone for him since that missed black in frame one. Well, the kiss at least keeps him on something here, so he's in again.
One good pot here and he could be away. This is a big shot. Cued it well. Not ideal on this red. Wanted a little bit more of an angle and wanted to be away from the pink. He's going to be queuing down on it. He's quite straight as well.
So I can get the blue back on its spot here. Just to say, Graham Dott has edged in front against Elliot Slessor 2-1.
That was a good choice, that, just opening up the pink spot a fraction. Nicely on this red to just run through for the black and bring a few more reds into play.
17.
This is now becoming a real good chance. Just a couple of shots away from being in absolute perfect control of this cue ball here during this break. They just need to play a little controlling cannon, perhaps just up through the little gap to the red just to the right of the pink. Again, just nip into the cue ball. You would feel you're guaranteed to be on a red at least. Well, he's gone the other way. That may be okay. It might be slightly hampered though. Wants to be straight on this bottom red.
4.
Yeah, so this next shot is a big one. White's come close to the side cushion. Red's nicely placed if he misses this. But he hasn't missed. Cued it well. So Miles starting to look good for a 4-0 lead, and he's been utterly dominant, really. O'Donnell has had chances and
31.
just hasn't been able to really put anything together. Martin O'Donnell, as we know, is a very determined character, but right now he's just rooted to that seat. And all the sort of Minister of Defence stuff and determination, that's all very well, but you need to be at the table.
Yeah, and albeit he's had a fair bit of table time during the safety exchanges, on the whole he has been frozen out of this game so far. It's all been Hussein doing the vast majority of the scoring, and he continues to do so. That's another good
40.
mini recovery pot. Lead goes to 40. More than enough Reds in open play here to see out this frame, take himself into the interval with a 4-0 lead.
Not the cleanest blue you'll ever see, but it's gone in.
45. Six.
So just needs to bring this home. Now O'Donnell, meantime, needs to stay focused in the seat. He'll be thinking it'll be 4-0, but you never know. We've seen strange balls miss before now. He missed one himself in frame one, the black to the opposite corner, the right corner. But it's quite a faint hope. 2 more pots needed for Vafai to go to the interval. 4-0 in front, looking good to make Judgment Day. There's Zhou Yulong in the background. He's struggling. He's 3-0 down to Hamad Mir. In fact, every shot we've seen of him, he seems to have been sat down. So not having a very good night over there.
Yeah, he's almost got the best seat in the house watching Hussein, I suppose, looking over the little barrier there.
68.
This has been good stuff from Hussein. He's just continuing to go through the gears. He's attacked when he needed to, and it's paid off.
Six. $82. 83.
I do feel he's a player who would enhance the final stages at York
91.
and could cause problems for seeded players were he to qualify. Of course, this is not the last round of qualifying, this is to get into it. But he's looking a good thing to take on either Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie. 3-0 there to Donaldson.
98.
And he's going to the interval, it would seem, having made a century. He made his 100th of his career this season. This will be his 15th of the season. And a nice way to go to the mid-session break. Firmly in control of this match. Sometimes you see a 4-0 and all the frames have been close. These haven't been. They've all been one-sided, actually. He's already had breaks of 64 and 67.
Oh, how well's he hit that with his left hand? Struck it like a dream. Oh, any good this, Dave? What a clearance.
I know, it's very, very impressive, but this is what he's like when the confidence is high.
150.
He's serious talent, Hussein Vafai. Quite a unique character in the game, I think. And he's doing Iran proud tonight.
120.
Very stylish break, this. And Martin O'Donnell really has it all to do. The scoreline's bad enough, but how well Vafai is playing here is the concern. A dashing, dazzling total clearance of 133 from Hussein Vafai to take an emphatic 4-0 lead into the interval. Martin O'Donnell with it all to do. Hussein Vafai playing superbly and looking good, needing 2 more frames when they return in 15 minutes. In the meantime, we can show you a bit of UK Championship magic now. It's from 10 years ago, and it features Mark Selby.
Equals the record along
65.
with Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's got a chance here, Stephen.
Absolutely. The only obvious problem is the red in bulk, but it's not too difficult if you get a nice angle in it to get back for a black. And this is possibly what Selby needed to really focus his mind, because he's been breaking down a lot on the sort of 50s and 60s in this match so far.
73.
That's the frame safe. So now concentrate 100% on the big prize. Four reds are in a nice position. You would think a cue ball anywhere around between the pink and the blue spot, you're going to be on a red to get back in the black. So just a matter of
80.
playing for that area each time.
He's achieved a maximum break on one occasion, 2009 in China.
81.
Place to do it in the UK Championship semi-final.
If I was Mark, I'd be looking to play for that red in bulk before you get rid of the other 3 reds. Because if you don't get on it properly, you've got the insurance of having another pot.
88.
Perhaps leave it high on the black here and stun off 2 cushions to get on that red in bulk. Would be a good choice.
Be interesting
89.
to see if he takes your advice, Stephen. It's a great call that you made there. And he has done. He's done exactly as you predicted. Key shot coming up.
96.
It's there. It's there. And if the brown passes the blue, if he
104.
gets that far, it may not be a problem.
$105.
Yeah, good shot to make sure he was high on that red.
112. $113.
Absolutely perfect on the black, and even Ricky Walton would love to see all these balls disappear for that magical 147.
Perfect. And this is as excited as you'll ever be with Super Crown, Dennis. Clearing the colours for a 147.
It still is very
122.
magical. I know it happens more often, but to do it in the UK Championship, and when you've been struggling a little bit with your game, this is something very special we're watching here.
$125.
Oh, smiles from Mark there. He knows he's come up a little bit short. Oh dear. Just another few inches and it would have been so easy. Now he's got a slight problem.
Does he just drop the brown in dead weight and leave a long blue, or take the chance of going round in between the pink and black?
He's going around the angles, I think. What a big shot this is. Come on then. Come on then. Drop on that blue. Fabulous shot.
129.
Yeah, it was a brilliant shot. Around the angles and missed the in-off in the right middle pocket.
Needs to pull up. He's going to have another tricky thing.
134.
Can he reach it? He's going to have to screw off the side cushion or just drop it in off one cushion. The old jester from Leicester has a bit of fun with the crowd. And even Ricky has to smile. Come on, Mark. It's a bit of a stretch.
I just hope all that joking doesn't spoil his concentration. This is a massive pink.
And there's a massive amount of money on it. £55,000 for the maximum, 4,000 for the highest break. There's a lot of Q sticking out there. Get in! Oh, he's not on the black. He's going to have to roll it to the middle pocket. He's not on the black. What a shot he's going to have to take here. Come on, Mark. Everybody's urging him on. Roll this black into the middle pocket. Here we go. Get in! Get in! Get in! Well played, Mark Selby. What a black he's knocked in there. Absolutely fantastic. The defending champion, as everyone gets to their feet, has made the magical 147. What a special moment for everybody in the Barbican Centre. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, 10 years ago now. I think that break is almost more unbelievable watching it now than it was at the time. It was extraordinary shots he pulled out there, not least the last black. Of course, Selby waiting to see who will get in the draw, which will be made on Thursday, but a lot of snooker to be played before then. A lot of snooker going on tonight. And my good friend Sam Fletcher from World Snooker Tour is back with a little roundup of the score, Sam.
Yes, thank you, David. As you've just watched, Hussein Verfai is 4-0 up on Martin O'Donnell. A beautiful 1-3-3 to finish there. Stuart Bingham's in trouble. He's 4-0 down to David Lilly on table 2. Lilly's had 2 breaks of 72 and a 62 as well.
I can just update. Bingham has won the 5th frame, so hopefully
He's heard us.
Well, the interval we know can change things, and he's in fact had a 90 break there, so that might be the start of the comeback.
That is a surprise, though, isn't it, David? We very rarely see him trail like that.
Yeah, he's going through an interesting time, I think. Obviously, having dropped out the 16, he's wearing glasses now. So various things to sort of get to terms with. But we know he loves it, doesn't he? And he'll give it everything to turn that round. That's not done yet, that match.
He does. That would be a shock not to see him in York. Certainly a shock to not see him in our Judgment Day production tomorrow and Thursday. Jimmy Robertson is 2-2 with Craig Steadman. And I've missed a match out, actually. Hamad Mia is 3-0 up on Zhou Yulong. He made a 98 in frame 3, did Mia. Sam Craigie, another player who's had to adapt to glasses, but he's back, I think, with contact lenses these days. He's trailing Scott Donaldson 4-0. Donaldson had a century, a 100 exactly in frame 2, and a 94 in the last, or the fourth, I should say. Pang Jung-shu is 3-1 up on Mark Davis. Graham Dott, plenty of experience there. He's 2-1 up on Elliot Slessor the last time I checked. And Jack Jones has taken 2 frames off Ian Burns. He's the only player to have taken any frames off Ian Burns in this tournament so far. That's 2-1. Ian beat Liam Highfield 6-0, and before that, Aman Iqbal by the same scoreline.
Burns red hot, you could say, so far. Just moving over that pun, Sam, you're very heavily involved, of course, in Judgment Day, producing Judgment Day. What can we look forward to over the next 2 days?
Yeah, for those of you who have never seen Judgment Day before, it's a gripping production. 2 days. It's called Judgment Day, but it's actually over two days. At this MrQ UK Championship qualifying event, it is tomorrow and Thursday. 32 players battling for 16 spots at the UK Championship. They're all desperate to get there, and I guess the production really, it aims to capture what is going on in the, with those players as they're pursuing those kind of coveted positions, David. So yeah, there's lots of blood, sweat and tears. Hopefully not too much blood, actually, but yeah, really looking forward to those 2 days.
Rob Walker will be in charge in the studio.
He will, yeah. Ken Doherty will be involved for an hour, but he's won his match.
Ken has reached Judgment Day as a player, so he rules him out of the studio.
Yeah. We didn't know whether to cheer him on or not. No, of course we're absolutely delighted for Ken, but it means that he's ruled himself out of extended Judgment Day action. We're going to have Stephen Hallworth, I think, joining us for the 2 days, who's, I have to say, has been brilliant for the last 2 days of qualifying.
Yeah, and of course the great thing about having Rob here, we get to hear from all the qualifiers, so when they've won they'll come in and speak to him. Yeah,
there'll be plenty of energy, don't worry about that, Dave.
And the draw will be on Thursday. We'll have that live. Well, we're not sure exactly what time, but it'll be between sessions after the afternoon session on Thursday.
Yeah, sometime after 4 p.m. on the Thursday. We'll have well, there'll be no players watching on in the small studio, but I'm sure there'll be plenty watching online.
I'm going to throw you a curveball here, Sam. Not warned you on this. What was your earliest UK Championship memory?
Might be a long silence here.
That sound is Sam thinking. If you're wondering what it was.
Well, I was impressed, David, with myself, actually, that I managed to get the answer to that question. David Gray. That was, I do remember that one, actually. I think probably some archive footage, which I think maybe fed into the show today. Matthew Stevens. I think Matthew Stevens winning in 2003, was it? I think that was my earliest memory. Yeah. I think a lot of people couldn't quite believe that he'd managed to beat the legend in the final.
Well, I remember, I'll go further back, as you know. I remember very clearly the 1987 UK Championship. Joe Johnson was on a 147, and in those days they were very, very rare. It would only have been, I think, maybe the third or fourth on television, and he missed the pink. And there was a 50,000 prize, and that 50,000 is a lot of money now. It was a lot of money then, a lot more money then, and it was a big deal. I remember asking him, because obviously I worked with Joe now at Eurosport, about it later, and he said he was thinking of the money. He said on the brown I was in Barbados, but unfortunately didn't quite make it because he missed the pink. But that was that's we talk about Ken missing the black and all that, but at the time that was a big deal. No one had sort of got that far and not completed one.
Well, yeah, that's a bit further back, David. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he probably booked it anyway, did he?
Well, he was doing well at the time, obviously. Listen, Sam, thanks for coming in. Thanks for all your updates this week.
Yeah. Well, we didn't mention, David, you're involved for the next 2 days, so we'll be hearing more of your dulcet tones.
Indeed, I'm looking forward to it. It's always good fun, and just to, if you haven't been with us before on Judgment Day, we'll be going around all the tables, so we'll be bringing you the flavour of everything that's happening all around. Look forward to it. Sam, thank you, and we'll pick up the commentary when the players come back. So the players are back from the interval, and Hussein Vifai is in a very strong position. 4-0 he leads Martin O'Donnell and needs 2 more to advance to Judgment Day on Thursday. It'll be the second of the 2 Judgment Days, final round of qualifying for the MrQ UK Championship.
Martin O'Donnell.
And a match with either Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie. Donaldson 4-0 up there. So can Martin O'Donnell turn things around? The interval sometimes does help the player trailing, but he needs help at the moment. He's made very little impact really on things. Vifai breaks a 64-67 and that magnificent 133 total clearance to put himself firmly in the driving seat here. And he's a confident character. He'll be looking to try and close this out now as quickly as he can. Not just the scoreline, but it's the performance as well that's been impressive.
Yeah, just caught a glimpse of Martin straight out into the practice arena, having a little knock on the practice tables, but he didn't spend long up there. So he must feel like he's hitting the ball okay. It's just a case of Hussein has played quite well. He's froze Martin out. But for that miss black in the opening frames, he hasn't had really a lot to go at.
One, right? I couldn't see them.
Okay, so it was more here.
Yeah.
Realistically, O'Donnell knows he's got to try and keep the fight on 4 and put a bit of pressure on by closing the gap. If he gets to 5, hard to see him losing, really.
Yeah, it's so important that Martin keeps Hussein away from that 5, because he's definitely going to get another chance to get over the line at some stage, so Martin's got to dig really deep here. Try and do anything he can to keep Hussein out, although safety shots like that with his hand on the table aren't going to help, because that's the result. He's a very good long potter, Hussein. Again, played it very confidently.
Yeah, confidence, I think the word tonight. He's looked very confident and assured in himself, the way he's gone about things. And that break in frame 4, the 1-3-3, was just magnificent. He must have been absolutely buzzing as he left the arena for the interval. But of course, he's still got a job to do, and that's to put away 2 more frames. Can't get too ahead of himself, just focus on this chance, this visit.
15. 16. 23. 24.
So a couple of reds available for Hussein. To the left side of the table, into the right middle. Be looking for a nice angle on one to get up for the blue. He's under hit that a fraction. That's not the best shot he's played. He was under no pressure to get perfect there.
31.
Needs an angle.
A couple of balls have gone in just about in that middle.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Hussein thought he'd missed that. He was up very quickly and almost walking towards the direction of his chair. Anyway, the red's gone in and he has got an angle. He was never going to really do any damage to the pack there, and he's lost the cue ball a fraction. This is a very tricky red along the
37.
top cushion. Well, what am I talking about, Dave?
38.
These are absolutely flying in.
Yeah, he's just got this real authority now, hasn't he? It's almost like every ball's going to be going in, difficult or not. Just sort of bullying them into the pockets. What a chance for 5-0. I better give the competition answer, because otherwise this match might be done. The question I asked was
45.
how many combined UK championships of the celebrated sort of Holy Trinity class of 92 won? Ronnie O'Sullivan, John
46.
Higgins and Mark Williams. The answer is 12. Ronnie's won 7, John 3, Mark 2. So far, who knows if any of them could add to that tally. So the answer is 12. And congratulations to Anne, who is one of the many people who got it right. Anne, Will Snooker will get in contact with
53.
you, and you've won tickets to next Thursday at the Barbican.
54.
And in no time at all, Hussein has arrived at the last few pots of this break required to get over the line in this 5th frame. He's just oozing confidence at the moment for me. He's got a aura
61.
about him round the table, a rhythm that he's playing super fluently.
62.
He's just in the zone, enjoying himself out there, and why not? He's playing some great stuff.
$69.
So this red, to to take a 5-0 lead. And this is exactly what Martin O'Donnell didn't want to happen in the frame after the interval. He needed to try and mix it up a bit, try and make something happen. But unfortunately for him, the same thing has happened. Hussein Vafai's got in with a great long red, and the rest is history.
77.
Great chance for another ton as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is
86.
just as good as it gets, really. Turned into a bit of an exhibition from Hussein Vafai. And without getting carried away, he's definitely a player you could see getting on a real run at the Barbican. Because he's got so much self-belief, and he's shown it again here. He had a century in the frame before the interval, and this black to make one in the frame after the interval. And he's almost home and dry tonight. Brilliant performance from Iran's number one. Back-to-back centuries here in the UK Championship qualifiers to put himself on the brink of a place in Judgement Day.
102.
And he's made the game here look ridiculously easy. So a brisk 109 from Hussein Vafai to follow the 133, the total clearance he made in the previous frame. He's ploughing on towards Judgement Day. He leads Martin O'Donnell by 5 frames to 0. Brilliant stuff, and of course the UK Championship, a lot of points up for grabs, and that will help players get into the Players Series. Now this is a 3-tournament series. World Grand Prix top 32 on the 1-year list, Players Championship top 16, and this year the Tour Championship is for the top 12. Tickets available for the Players Series will be in actually here in Leicester for the World Grand Prix in January, Players Championship February in Telford, and a new venue, really excellent new venue in April for the Tour Championship, the Manchester Central. So check out the World Snooker Tour ticket page for details of how to come along, because 3 great tournaments there, elite fields, of course based on the 1-year ranking list, so anyone on the tour can get in them. And go to wst.tv/tickets, that's wst.tv/tickets. We hope to see you at one of those tournaments.
Yeah, and I missed all the drama here at the Morningside Arena in Leicester for this UK Championship qualifying. Players have got their eyes set on those tournaments, particularly the Grand Prix. That's the first one up. A lot of players in the Players Lounge this afternoon looking at the 1-year list, looking at all the permutations around it. If he wins, if they win, if I win, you know, looking at the rankings, see what's going to happen. One eye is always set on those tournaments. Great incentives for the guys to get into them.
Well, right now, Vafai looking a red-hot favourite to be here on Thursday to play either Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie. By the way, it's 4-0 to Donaldson there, so that is the matchup we're kind of expecting right now. But let's see. Martin O'Donnell is nothing if not determined, but he's been sort of hit by a bit of a blizzard of breaks tonight. Well, after everything he's had to put up with, that's an excellent pot.
Yeah, it really is. That's a fantastic long red, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do now. He's got to take the bull by the horns and attack himself. He can't keep going about his business in the manner in which he has. He's trying to freeze Hussein out. It's not working because Hussein's going to attack himself. We've already seen that. Martin's got to try and make something happen. Okay, he's not landed there.
8.
Tough pack to go into, really, from the black. It was pretty flat there. Not really much could happen. Screwing off them.
Martin O'Donnell, 8.
He gets another chance immediately. He's worked so hard just to get to this round. Of course, some late nights coming back after matches are taken off and all the rest of it. So now it's time to try and knuckle down, at least get on the scoreboard here. Tell us about the Q Tour, Stephen. Maybe people don't kind of understand how it works. It's a series of events, right? And it's now into Europe as well.
Yeah, it's the Q Tour is how this man Martin O'Donnell regained his tour card, and I myself and a lot of the other recently relegated professionals are competing on it. It's a fantastic series, and oh, what a miss that is! Wow,
Martin O'Donnell.
Martin, what have you done there? But yeah, the Q Tour, it's 6 or 7. I think it's 7 events this season. We're up to event 4 already. The next one's Brighton, middle of December. But yeah, it's a great series of events. 4 events in the UK, 3 in Europe. Basically, it's just a straight knockout event. It runs off the Q School Order of Merit from last season, so the top 64 ranked players from that are seeded through. There's a pre-qualifying round played down to a winner ranking list from that. The top ranked player come the end of the series regains an automatic tour card to the main tour. Players ranked 2nd to 24 or 25, I believe, this season, along with the qualifiers from the Global Q Tour, will play in the playoff for another 3 cards. So, yeah, plenty of opportunity, and I believe that the playoffs this season are played over a bigger distance as well. So, best of 19 matches. So, you can't really ask for much more than that. It's a fantastic platform to try and get back into the game's elite.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be playing, isn't it? And to have something to play for, something to aim for in good conditions. So, second inexplicable miss black from O'Donnell. We saw one in the first frame. We've seen one in this frame. Fafai, of course, very soon is going to have to get the reds open. But right now, he's just not being put under any pressure. He's being allowed to play with the freedom that we've seen.
Yeah, he's looking for an angle now. If not on this shot, he can play the next red, get perfect on the blue, and just get into that pink as full as he can, as hard as he can. Check for any obvious plants. I don't think there is any.
13.
Well, yeah, he was looking for the angle, wasn't he? And he got it, actually, but he didn't pop the red.
Yeah, his concentration may have just slipped a fraction here. He played a really loose safety shot earlier, and that's a really unexpected miss from Hussein. The job is not done yet. As we've already mentioned, a couple of games this season he's lost from so far in front. He doesn't want to get too carried away here and take anything for granted. He's just got to get the job done, get the W.
Yeah, he can't be... I mean, look, he's every right to feel good, but you can't be sort of overconfident. You've got to put the match away, because you don't want to be here in an hour's time. It's 5-3, and suddenly it just becomes a scramble to get it won. You know, he's got O'Donnell where he wants him, struggling with his own game. Don't want to give him openings and maybe a bit of hope that he can at least put pressure on by winning a couple.
And we've seen it so many times before. The balls don't forgive you if you don't treat the game with the respect and the discipline. Oh, look at that! What a fluke that is. Yeah, he's got to remain disciplined, Hussein, because the balls will not forgive you. And as you say, he doesn't want to get into a bit of a scrap with this man.
No, and suddenly O'Donnell's getting weird flukes as well. So the snooker gods may be having their fun as well. They're always on duty. Mark Davis from 3-1 down to Pang Zhengzhou has levelled up at 3-3. So experience just telling for the moment in that match. A couple of nice breaks from Davis, 78-62 in the last two frames. Oh, and O'Donnell's dug out the plan. Brilliant.
Well, I cannot believe the shot Hussein has played there. Surely he's seen that plan. He came round and had a look at the pack. It couldn't have been dead set, but it was definitely close. How has Hussein even attempted the red knowing he was going to be leaving that? That was an outrageous shot selection.
Yeah, and well, it could well be costly here.
6.
You've seen O'Donnell not take chances yet, but that could change.
And Martin's just got to cling on to the hope that Hussein is going to play a few loose shots now. His arm is freed up for sure. And he's not going to be refusing much. Why would he? He's 5-0 in front. But as we've already mentioned, the game will not forgive you. And if the chances come, Martin's got to try and just take them, chip away at it, and who knows what can happen.
Yeah, that cannon was no good, basically. Just hasn't scored at all tonight.
The right side of the table is pretty safe if you can get this red over to the left side. Try and play up, just missed the pink. Oh, he's caught the pink. And he's going to have left the red. He's trying to find the line, just missing the pink up, getting behind the yellow.
Well, it's not straightforward this. The black's tied up, the pink's tied up, so you're going to have to concentrate on blue and bulk colours if you can knock the red in. But it is a chance to get the match won. There's going to have to be some work done, a couple of awkward reds as well, but he can certainly get himself in front in the frame. Let's be honest, Stephen, when we saw this match was on table one, we thought that's a late night guaranteed, because Martin is such a tough player, but just hasn't got going at all into any sort of flow tonight.
Famous last words, Dave. No, you're right. You know, you come to expect from Martin, you know, he's never going to give up, and why should he? He's a professional snooker player that he wants to win, like we all do. You know, he'll stay out there until the cows come home. But you're right, he has been frozen out, and he's not been at his best tonight. Let's be honest. He's missed a couple of blacks off the spot, which you just cannot do at this level. He's not put Hussein under any pressure, and Hussein is not the sort of character or player that you want to let get too far ahead. He's just building confidence, and he's just oozing confidence all the while, and it's a pretty intimidating sign. I just wonder if Martin's got a little bit of a hangover from his previous two games. We've already said they were both late night finishes. Sometimes it can take it out of you mentally. These tournaments aren't always about what happens in your particular matches, but all the downtime in between and the psychology behind it all, it can all play a part.
Well, he tried to get things into play there, but hasn't really finished favourably.
You see, like this shot, he's taking the blue on and he doesn't have to here. Well, what do I know? What a pot that is.
Yeah, I mean, it was low percentage, but he potted it, so you can't really argue with it.
18.
I guess 5-0 up, he's just sensing the chance to win, and there's a couple of safe balls, so he thought, well, even if I missed the blue, it might not have cost me too much.
21.
Yeah, he just wants to get this game done as quickly as possible now. He's firmly in the driving seat. He just wants to see it out, attack as much as he can. You can't blame him for that. It's the modern way. It's his way.
It's a good effort, that, but didn't quite come off. So he's nudged in front.
24.
If you can clip thin off this red and just miss the knuckle of the middle pocket, he can get in behind the green and brown, which would be a pretty telling shot from there. May cut off all these reds. Got to catch this super thin though, it may not be on. Might have to play a little bit thicker.
So 24.
Well, he's got very close to a great shot there. Just a little flick on that top red would have been absolutely perfect. Just had a message in from young Riley Powell on Twitter. He says, can you mention that Hussein will be playing me in the shootout in my hometown? What an occasion that will be. Of course, Hussein, previous shootout winner. Riley, another young player coming through the ranks. Of course, the shootout will be the event straight after this conclusion of the UK Championship at the Barbican. Heads over to a new venue in Swansea.
Well, Fayu came to the table here, he sort of didn't notice the red going in, it would seem, but it did. Now then, big brown here. Fayu creeping round. Big shot for Martin O'Donnell. Could be his last if he misses it. Yeah, it's been a disappointing evening. I think you're right, Stephen. I think, you know, the sort of combined effort of the first two matches has definitely taken some sort of toll on Martin O'Donnell. So can Bafai take it out?
Yeah, the intensity out there is just so high, and Martin's one of those players that gets very involved in that. He finds a level of intensity that a lot of players struggle to get to, and you know, to keep performing late at night under the most pressure. You have to be in that zone, and it's going to play a part at some stage. You know, we often talk about the World Championship, what a marathon that is. You look at, you know, Selby's just a prime example, how he can just keep performing to that level in that environment for that length of time. It's just otherworldly, and, you know, on a smaller scale, of course, that's maybe similar to what Martin O'Donnell's been going through the last couple of days.
And this is the shot, just a little bounce. So brown and blue for victory, and the handsome one for Hossein Vafai. He's been quite open in this last frame, hasn't he? Or it might not be the last frame, but this sixth frame, he's sort of played like someone who hasn't expected to lose, and if he pots the blue, he won't have done. He'll be the first man through tonight to Judgement Day. He'll have tomorrow off, can have a practice and just stay refreshed and relaxed. He will be a big threat if he qualifies. He's got to get past Scott Donaldson or Sam Craigie first, but it's been a handsome victory, a pretty swift one really for Hossein Vafai. He made back-to-back centuries of 133 and 109. Martin O'Donnell is nothing if not a trier. He's 5-0 down and 22 behind on the pink. 2 snookers needed, plus about 3 miracles if he's going to win this match. But you can credit his determination here, if nothing else. I mean, the black isn't really in a great spot either. You have to get right in behind it to have any chance. So, as ever, the fire will just try and lag this towards the pocket. And it's going in. And Hossein Vafai is the first winner this evening, a comprehensive one, 6-0. The Minister of Defence, I'm afraid, didn't put up much of a defence tonight. I think he was a bit affected by his earlier matches, took a lot out of him, but also he was up against someone in seriously good form. Hossein Vafai advances to the final qualifying round of the MrQ UK Championship. He will be into Judgement Day Part 2. Tomorrow, of course, is Judgement Day Part 1. We'll be on air just before 1 o'clock in the UK. Join Rob Walker, Stephen and myself for all the drama. We'll be going around all 4 tables, bringing you the best of the action. So do join us on Discovery Plus, on the World Snooker Tour YouTube and Facebook pages, Matchroom Live as well. We look forward to being with you for all the drama. There is action continuing on Discovery Plus on tables 2 to 4, but that is it from the main table. So from Phil Yates as well, who's here earlier, from myself and from Stephen, thanks for watching and good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.